Officer took a bite of the apple in front of the prisoner, but he didn't expect the prisoner to pick up a grenade and pretend to bite into it. The soldiers immediately raised their guns, alert and aiming at him. However, Jack's provocative behavior made the adjutant extremely angry. He was about to step forward to teach Jack a lesson, but Jack remained very calm, even starting to gag repeatedly. Then, he slowly pulled a cross medal out of his mouth. The officer showed a shocked expression, not knowing where this medal came from. Suddenly, a crisp musical ringtone rang out. The adjutant frantically searched himself, but to everyone's surprise, Jack pulled out a pocket watch from his waist. The adjutant was extremely shocked. When did his pocket watch end up on Jack? Ashamed and angry, the adjutant raised his fist to hit Jack, but in the next moment, the pocket watch was back in the adjutant's pocket. At this point, he felt it was unbelievable. Seeing that Jack posed no threat, all the soldiers began to enjoy his performance. His actions made all the soldiers laugh heartily, causing them to lower their guard. But what they didn't know was that this funny man was actually the enemy's reconnaissance captain, and all of this was part of Jack's plan. Seeing that the time was right, Jack threw down the grenade in his hand and quickly ran into the warehouse. The officer immediately ordered the soldiers to go and capture him. Just as the soldiers were about to pull the trigger, they didn't expect Jack to come out running comically with a wooden barrel over his head. The soldiers all laughed at him and then gathered around to playfully tease the barrel. However, when they lifted the barrel, they found it was empty. Jack had disappeared. Everyone looked around in fear. As they searched for Jack, a cat's meow came from the roof. The soldiers looked up and were surprised to see Jack performing like a kitten. The soldiers relaxed their guard again. No one knew how Jack did it. Jack's magical abilities made the officer feel threatened, not knowing where Jack would appear next after disappearing. So the officer ran to the hostages and threatened Jack, telling him to come down immediately, or else the two girls would be in danger. Facing the officer's threat, Jack decided to compromise. However, unexpectedly, Jack jumped down directly, surprising the officer. The soldiers immediately surrounded him, thinking Jack was dead. When the officer turned his head, he saw that the girls who had been imprisoned had disappeared. The officer immediately ordered the soldiers to be on alert. Suddenly, gunshots rang out, even more terrifying. Jack, who was supposed to be dead, stood up again and slowly raised his right hand.